There we go again. Yet another win down at the center. You know, I'm kind of tired of facing the Pistons. It seems like we faced them like the last couple weeks like 6 times, even though it hasn't been that many. They were Blake Griffinless again tonight. We got Embiid back, which is nice. He was nice. He was nicely well rested. He still looked really sluggish out there tonight. He had a good game though. High man. For the game tonight, 24 points, 11 for 14 from the free throw line. As you notice, we were dominant on the boards with JoJo being back, of course. We annihilated him on offensive rebound. We had 16 offensive rebounds tonight, which I thought was great. We were active on the boards. Defense a little shoddy because we gave up 26 points to Luke Kennard. Made him look pretty good, even though I don't think he's as good as advertised. They were getting real easy penetration. That's why JoJo just looked way off tonight, you know? He just looked sluggish. He wasn't there. He's missing defensive rotations. Butler, again, was out. He got a groin injury, so he wasn't out there tonight for very long. We needed him and Ben to step up. Ben was aggressive, 8 from 11 from the field. Only 2 from 9 from the free throw line. Big struggles for him. And it seemed like Drummond got to the line so many times. He used to be a 45% free throw shooter, and he did decent tonight. But if he can start making his free throws, so can Ben Simmons. But that's still a work in progress. He was really aggressive tonight. I liked how aggressive Ben was, especially with Jimmy being out. And the bench showed up. Did I not say last video I wanted Brett Brown to incorporate Korkmaz? He was a monster tonight. 18 points, 4 from 7 from downtown. Absolute stud. I mean, his jump shot's just so wet, you know? You got to get him out there in that lineup. He's another versatile guy who, yeah, he's a weak defender. So is Shamet. They look to attack, but he's another big body guy. He can play a little bit of point. He can take the ball up, but he's just got such a wet jumper out there. You have to incorporate him, give him minutes. You know, ShamWow was out there tonight. I thought he played pretty good. He had a couple threes, very active on the boards as well for him. He had a couple nice offensive rebounds that led to points. But I definitely have to say, player of the game had to be Korkmaz, picking up for Jimmy's points. The bench was huge tonight. You got 14 points from TJ. You got 18 from Cork. ShamWow had 10. We got a little even Shake got in there. He didn't play that much, but I would even try to incorporate him in there. Give Let's minutes to TJ. Don't give him too many heavy minutes, but TJ had some couple nice assists tonight too. I think he ended up with 6 or 7 if I'm not mistaken. But penetration's still, again, too easy for us, especially with Embiid having, 4 days rest he had. But luckily we were able to get this win, 116 to 100. I'm glad. I hope we don't have to face the Pistons for a good while now. We were up, 15 points. Brett, I was going to rip his head off at halftime because I was literally cussing at the top of my lungs. When we went, how long was that stretch for when we had 48 points right before halftime? Because we were up, 14? And they cut it all the way to 3. And he just did not call timeout. It was driving me insane. I think the drought was maybe 4 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. But we were able to build on that lead, come out in the third quarter, and we just had a couple big stretches. We were active on the rebounds offensively. Just nice. Just nice to see. But he got in some crazy foul trouble. I just don't know what a foul is in the NBA anymore. Terrible calls, but we were really bad from the free throw line tonight. As a team collectively, we were 23 of 35, I believe. It's like 60%. We hit 15 threes tonight because of Corky. Corky definitely helped with that. JJ was off. You know, and when we were stagnant there, it was just we were doing a lot of quick three-pointers, not getting the rebounds. They were attacking us at the paint, and we just didn't know what to do. We started to panic again. Brett wasn't calling a timeout. It's like he was just going to let his players figure it out, but they weren't doing it. We were able to pull away, though, because of the active hands and the energy that they were bringing defensively. So, good to see. And we needed the bench to come up big. Yeah, Brett does think he's Pop, Eric, and he's clearly not him. Far from it. Far from Popovich. He might have coached on that coaching staff for, 13 years? I don't see any of Popovich in Brett Brown at all. Not even close. But we take on the Nets come Wednesday night. And you can't sleep on any team in the NBA. You figure you can take on teams like the Pistons are good because they're in the playoff race. They didn't have Blake Griffin, though, so that was a big, big part offensively for them not being in there. So for them to keep it that close, even though we lost Jimmy, we still had 2 of our studs out there, and they cut it close. And that's why we needed the bench to come up big in these situations like this, because we're not always going to have guys like Embiid out there. Like, we rested him last game, and then Jimmy gets hurt. And, you can't predict injuries. That's why you have to have a collective team effort. And we were able to pull out the win tonight. So it was good to see. You rest your starters like you have to do from time to time. But I don't like giving Embiid this many days off, too, because then he gets rusty. Even though he looked really rusty out there tonight, he was still able to put 24 points up there. I think he got a double-double. I don't remember how many rebounds he got. But he just looked a little lost. So he's got to get his conditioning up. That's something Embiid needs to work on. Hit the treadmill. You're too young to be, like heaving and hauling up and down the court like that. So we face the Nets on Wednesday. We should get another win there. But we play down to our competition. So we just got to stay on top of... going, rotating defensively, getting our players the ball, especially Embiid down on the block. He didn't want to wrestle around with Drummond tonight. He just didn't. Drummond did a great job on him defensively, pushing him off the rock a couple times. He was trying to get position on the block. It's just they were swarming on Embiid. And that's one of his weaknesses. He doesn't know what to do out of the pass, out of the double team. He gets in trouble. He turns the ball over a lot. But they forced him into a couple jumpers, and he just didn't look like the Embiid we all know and love that was having an MVP series earlier in the season. Hope Jimmy's groin injury doesn't have him out for a few. Hey, I hope not either. Even though we do play that awful team from Brooklyn on Wednesday, I want Jimmy to get back healthy. So they might not rush him back. He's probably not going to be back because groins are like hamstrings. They just hamper you and have you out for months even. If any of you guys have ever had any injuries to your groin and or hamstring, they can linger, and they're painful. I've even known a couple players to have surgery on that to fix that. So, knock on wood, Jimmy's going to be okay. Didn't need him again tonight. We're probably going to rest him to make sure everything's okay. But that gives an opportunity for Korkmaz, ShamWow to be out there and really prove themselves to Brett to really get themselves and work themselves into this rotation. We need Embiid in the paint. Brett talked all summer about Embiid being dominant now. Yeah, and there was a count out there. There was that BS by Keith Pompey, that clickbait saying he's not happy with Jimmy being here and his role change, blah, blah, blah. I know this is a direct quote from Embiid saying that he wasn't happy with his positioning where Brett Brown has him playing, which is out on the perimeter. I agree with him there. He shouldn't have to go at their perimeter. He should be down on the block like most big men. That's where he wants to do his work. That's where he's going to do his most damage. So, that's up to him and Brett to sit down and talk and discuss this. But a lot of times I see Brett being a pushover and not getting on his players. One thing Popovich did do and still does to this day, regardless if they're a superstar or not, you got to get on them, okay? You can't be a softie. You can't be a pushover and just let the players walk all over you. You are the coach. Get on their ass if they're not doing something they're supposed to, whether it's a defensive assignment, being lackadaisical, not hustling, so on and so forth. Get on your damn players. I've seen Popovich numerous times do it to Tim Duncan, Ginobili, Parker, whoever it may be. Kawhi Leonard even. But Keith Pompey always trying to create turmoil. I know he is. And everybody was like tripping out about this. They should know Keith Pompey at this point. He's clickbait. He's trash. Do not believe anything he says. He's just trying to get attention and people to read his articles by putting something like that in the title. Yeah, Corky. I said it last video. Korkmaz should be getting more minutes. He's proved himself over numerous times during the season. He's got a wet jumper out there. He's a decent rebounder, too. Sure, he's weak defensively because they'll attack him and ShamWow a lot of the times. But that's where we got to switch the defense, go into a zone. I love the 3-1-3. I've mentioned it before. To kind of help the inability of some of these younger guys to be able to defend. He's bulked up. He's working on it. He's grown over the past 2 years that he's got here. He's beefing up. So, not too worried about him. Get him in there. Shamwow, definitely love these guys. They're picking up big shots and minutes to work in this rotation. Hopefully Brett sees this and incorporates them when Jimmy Buckets does get back, because he might be out for a while. I'm just praying it's not that major and it's just a little minor groin injury. They throw some ice on it, stretch that jaw out. He'll be back ready to go by Friday when we face the Pacers. Yep, I'm okay with that, Raymond, because we do play, it's not a crucial game that we come in, Brooklyn coming in here, even though we struggled when we went there. They're coming to our crib now. They're coming to our house. You know the energy we bring down here. Only got one loss down here at the center. Let him freaking rest. Get him ready for the Pacers on Friday. We'll have Korkmaz, Shamit, all the bench guys come in. Although I'm very concerned with the backup minutes going to. I don't like Muscala playing the 5 a lot, even though he's a stretch 5, and he does work tirelessly on the defensive end. He's just not a very good defender. So when Embiid does go out, we got to find that backup center. I mean, that's huge. I just wish Justin Patton would be healthy, because he would be that guy. And I wanted them to get Tyson Chandler, and he's gone. And people were freaking out about Elton Brand not going after freaking Shaggy P, I like to call him. I'm glad we didn't pick up that scrub. I want no parts of Swaggy P. Garbage Swaggy. More like Shaggy P, bruh. Alright? He's trash. It's garbage. He played here before. Go let him warm the bench over in Denver. He can smoke all the pot he wants and be a bum. Because he's garbage. Yeah, so, not much to say. Just a great overall team win. Sucks about buckets. Not even going to mention what happened to the Birds. Season is in lingering doubt now. Anthony, he hurt his groin tonight. So he didn't really play. He was out pretty quick. So we're praying that the injury is a minor groin. Hopefully it's not a tear. Maybe he just strained it a little bit. Haven't heard any major reports, though, that it's a major injury. So, knock on wood, he's all good. And that's it. All right, guys, I'm going to head up out of here. I want to come watch this Monday night game. I got a long road ahead of me. It was good checking in. Thank you for tuning in to the Gaff's Aftermath. Hit subscribe button. Jeez, I'm tongue-tied. Hit the subscribe button. Jesus, I did it again. You know what I'm saying. Hit the subscribe button if y'all dug what I was talking about. Yeah, no problem, Anthony. And tune in. We'll be doing football. Adrian does the football. I does the basketball. Maybe we'll have some Phillies news. Winter meeting started today. I know there's talks that, and heavy interest from the Phillies getting Machado, Harper, as we know. Yeah, we do, Ron. And he's proved himself in a couple games this season that he deserves to get into this rotation. And because he's got such a wet jumper out there. It's such a quick release that coming off of screens, especially when JJ's struggling, you have yet another shooter out there. He's bigger than JJ too, so, he can disrupt, even though he's not good defensively at all. His length can bother some defenders because he's 6'8". That's how he's able to shoot over some defenders. So you don't really always have to have him running off of screens. He can run up and do a pull-up. He can work around the basket. He's a hustle guy. I like what I've seen out of Korkmaz this season. He's proved himself. There was some disgruntlement from him. He wanted to get traded because he wasn't getting worked into the rotation earlier in the year. Exactly. And I still would like TJ to get less minutes. Even though he's effective when he's out there, I still think he's getting too many minutes. I would like him to get maybe 10 to 12 minutes. I know he likes to rest Ben, and he rested Embiid way too much tonight. What did he get, 30 minutes tonight? Off of resting for, 3 or 4 days? Nah, I wanted Embiid out there a little bit more to get that rust off. Because we're going to have off tomorrow, and then we play again Wednesday. We got to have our MVP ready to go. We're going to need him and Simmons to step it up now with buckets possibly out for a couple games, along with the bench to come up strong. But just shows you, without the Pistons didn't have their best player tonight in Blake Griffin, and they were still able to cut it to 3 points. Okay, and we almost had a full roster tonight. What's his name? Luke Kennard came up big for them. People have talked about acquiring him, but you just need some more 3-point shooting and the ability to block the defenders from cutting all the way to the basket and getting to Embiid, because he missed a lot of defensive assignments tonight. But big win again down the center. We got it. This is KG on BB, Gaff Aftermath. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Leave your comments, concerns. What do y'all think? Y'all worried that Jimmy's out? You don't think we're going to be taking these wins? You think Embiid and Simmons can play together as a front court? I think they'll be okay. If Simmons is aggressive like he was tonight, like he should have took more advantage of Luke Kennard, in my opinion, at the 4 or 5. That's where I'd like Ben to play a lot of the times. On the post, because he can still pass out of the post just as good. It's just if you figure there, if he's going to be down there on the post, who's really going to be playing around the perimeter? You have to have another shooter out there. And that's where Dario was kind of key, but he didn't play well with Simmons. A lot of players can't play well with Simmons. And then we got that whole Fultz thing going on. His career might be over. The Raptors are the best team in the NBA, pains me to say as a Warriors fan. Yes, they are very good, Landon. They are phenomenal. Acquiring Kawhi Leonard, they upgraded a bunch when they got rid of DeRozan and acquired a player like Kawhi. That's why the Sixers wanted to get him so bad, because imagine him on this team to go along with buckets. I still think we probably would have went after buckets if we got Kawhi. I mean, ew. Who got beat by the Nets? Sixers did. Ariza, I heard, could be going to L.A. I don't know if we're going to acquire him, depending on who we are willing to give up to get him. I would like to hang on the Wilson Chandler. But getting an Ariza-type player, good 3-and-D guy, would be nice. Because we still need, of course, a couple pieces. I would love Patton. I want Patton to get healthy so bad and play on this team to show what he can offer. MVP right now, it's probably either going to be, I think it's between Giannis and Kawhi. Heavily pointed more towards Kawhi winning MVP. An award he has yet to acquire. He got Finals MVP, but he's never ever won a overall MVP. All right, I'll take 2 more questions if they're out there. Any takers? I mean, Embiid has been playing monstrous the first, 30-some games during the season. But he's tapered off a bit. And that's where Keith Pompey wanted to, put that little seed of deceitfulness in the air. Oh, yeah, I'm a huge football fan, Landon. #1 sport. I'm a Jags fan. So, my season's been over for quite some time. Hey, man, you don't know at that point, Eric. I mean, nobody saw the Greek Freak turning into what he is now. He fell to, 13th or 15th in that draft? And if you look at it, we turned that MCW pick into a top 5 pick, kind of. So, oh, good for you, Landon. You're a Cowboy. Wow, Warriors and a Cowboys fan. Interesting. Your Cowboys are rocking out right now for sure. They're going to choke in the playoffs, though, just to let you know. I made it all sense in the world. What's it for? Yeah, I know. But, again, it's hard to tell. The draft's a crapshoot. You never know. You look at MCW, he won the Rookie of the Year. Yes, he did. And I hope he can save my freaking fantasy team. I had a bye week this week, so I'll start him and he'll get me 7 points next week. He's done it to me all year. I hope he can drop another 64 points. That'd be dope. I don't know if he will, though. But good for your Cowboys. Eric, y'all have a good night. I'm up out of here. KG on BB. Sixers win again, baby. Let's get it on Wednesday. Peace.